Welcome to this Budget Basics module, Understanding Our County Budget Structure. In our earlier modules, we looked at what a budget is and at understanding your local taxes. Now, let's dive deeper and see how Greenville County's budget is actually structured. So the county has sent your tax bill and they've collected your money. Ever wonder who decided how much you would pay and where it would all go? Who decided your tax rate would go up or down? Your tax rate, that's your millage rate for those of you who watched our last episode. You might think it's all up to the county council, but that is only part of the picture. Let's take a look. There are 4 main groups that can set tax rates and fees in Greenville County. First, there are cities and towns. If you live in one of Greenville's 6 municipalities, Greer, Travelers Rest, Greenville, Malden, Simpsonville, or Fountain Inn, your city sets its own millage rates and fees for local services. We are not going to cover city budgets or taxes in this series, but just know they are part of the equation and part of who determines your taxes if you live there. Second, you have Greenville County government. You know, those folks who work at that big building at University Ridge, along with the Sheriff's Department, 911, the library, all those county services we rely on. They are funded through the millage rates set by the county council. Then you have Greenville County School District. You might not realize that Greenville has a single school district that covers the whole county. That makes it one of the largest school districts in the country. The Greenville County School District has its own budget and sets its own millage rate, and that's managed by the School Board of Trustees. In fact, the school budget is actually larger than the county government's budget. Finally, there are special purpose districts, SPDs for short. What the heck are those, you ask? Well, let's take a minute and explain. Back in the day, counties were not allowed to offer services like water, fire, or sewer. Only cities could. So, when unincorporated areas like old mill villages, for example, needed those services, the community would petition the state to create special purpose districts for the purpose of funding and providing those services. And special purpose districts are special because they typically focus on just 1 or 2 services, maybe like fire protection or sewer service, and they cover a specific geography. Some SPDs are funded through property taxes, while others charge usage fees like a utility. Greenville County has 30 special purpose districts. That's more than any other county in the state. Your tax bill may include SPD millage if you live in the geographic area of an SPD. For example, you might pay extra millage for fire service, sewer, streetlights, or neighborhood amenities. Each SPD is created by state law and operates within the county. Some are run by elected boards and are very independent, setting their own rates and fees. Others have boards appointed by county council and then required to have their rates approved by the county council. Do you want to learn more? Katie Smith at Simple Civics has a podcast episode that covers SPDs in detail. The Greenville GIS map shows a geographic map of all of our SPDs. And you can check out the full millage rate list, including SPDs, on the county website. All that means is that depending on where you live in Greenville County, 3 to 5 different groups could have a hand in setting your final tax rate. If you want to have input to the county's spending, it's important to understand who approves what and to realize that the county council only approves a portion of the county's overall spending. However, County Council has one additional powerful tool called tax abatements. To promote business development, the County Council can make a tax exception for businesses they want to attract to the county. The expectations are that the benefits of the project will outweigh the short-term loss in tax revenue. The tax abatement we most often talk about is fee in lieu of taxes, or FILO for short. These deals are generally negotiated privately, often before a project is even made public, which means we as citizens have limited input. Abatements pause all millage rates, including those for county, municipalities, schools, and special purpose districts. Historically, the county government, school system, county municipalities, and fire districts all receive a portion of tax abatement fees. However, that is not guaranteed, and Council ultimately decides how those fees are to be used. Since the school budget is so big, we have dedicated a full module just to that. But we would like to spend a little more time here discussing the structure of the other big part of our overall county budget, the county government's budget. Knowing just a little bit more about how the county government budget is organized and structured will help you better understand any official budget documents you might see. As we've covered in other budget basics modules, Greenville County's revenue can come from taxes, fees, state and federal funding, and grants. But did they just throw all that money into one bucket? No, they do not. Let's look at how the county organizes it. The Greenville County government organizes its budget, separating the county's money into different funds. Think of them as buckets, each with a clear job, so taxpayer dollars are used as intended. At the center of it all is the general fund. This is the county's main operating account, covering core services like law enforcement, EMS, courts, and administration. It's mostly funded by property taxes and keeps the basics running strong. It's the largest and most flexible bucket. Then we have special revenue funds. These are dedicated to specific purposes like affordable housing, parks, 911 services, tourism, and road improvements. The money comes from taxes and targeted fees, but these funds are set aside to support a very special purpose, so the money in these funds supports exactly what it's meant to. The debt service fund helps the county responsibly repay long-term investments like infrastructure or major facilities without dipping into daily operations. The capital projects fund is used for one-time big projects. Think sidewalks, technology upgrades, or new recreation spaces. These investments help Greenville grow smartly. Enterprise funds are for major services like solid waste and stormwater. They receive some tax dollars but are primarily funded by user fees, so the people who use them help cover the costs. And finally, we have internal service funds, which handle shared needs across departments, like fleet maintenance and employee health insurance. These keep operations running smoothly behind the scenes. You know, it might sound like a lot, but each fund has a purpose, and they work together to help ensure your tax dollars are properly controlled, managed, and used for their intended purpose. Thanks for joining us for this module of Budget Basics, brought to you by the League of Women Voters of Greenville County. Next up, we'll take everything we've learned and apply it to this year's Greenville County government budget. See you there.